Hey booktubers, Lisa here. So I'm relatively new to BookTube. I've been on for about 3 weeks as a creator, so I know that makes me a veteran. Anyways, I thought I would answer the BookTube Newbie tag questions. Shall we make a start? Question 1. Why did you start this channel? Have you ever felt like some things were just meant to be? From the very beginning when I started this channel, I wanted to do a book club, thinking, maybe it would be me and like 3 other people. At this point in time, I had no idea that BookTube was even a thing. Once I realized that BookTube existed, my head fell out of my body. I'm like, what? This actually exists? How cool is that? I have been to book clubs in the past. There were some really strong personalities. It was really difficult to get in a word, no matter how insightful or meaningful. And we've all been there, where you get into a group situation, there's 1 or 2 people who just monopolize the entire conversation, and you can't get in a word in edgewise. My channel, I want to give a voice to all readers. So yes, I am doing the book reviews, giving my opinions, but it's okay if you disagree with me. I want you to let me know if you disagree. We can have a respectful conversation. If I read a book and I hate it and you say, well, I love it, and you can point out, you're not appreciating the author's unique writing style, or hey, there was this underlying theme that you were not even aware of, you missed completely. I want to improve as a reader, and I hope that my channel will give you something to think about as well. But this channel should be a safe place for all readers to come and have a seat at the table. Your voice will be heard. Question 2. What are some fun and unique things you can bring to BookTube? In my opinion, there's 3 things that really set me apart from all the other channels. 1, I read a wide variety of different books. It will be impossible for you to predict my TBR every single month because I read all different kinds of books. I will never just be all fiction, all fantasy, all nonfiction, all romance, all new releases. That's not me. I read new releases where I have pre-ordered the book and I will be one of the very first people to read the published book. But I also enjoy Shakespeare and the classics. Lately, I've been reading a lot of books from the 1800s. And before you think, oh, Lisa, you're just trying to be pretentious and you're lying through your teeth, I would highly recommend picking up the book Wuthering Heights. Back in the 1800s, authors, they had to publish their books oftentimes 1 chapter at a time in the newspaper. Every chapter had to stand alone. It had to be awesome or it would be pulled. There was no 100-page warm-ups like in Lord of the Rings. It had to be consistently a page turner, something that made you want to read more and read more and read more. And I love Jane Eyre, where there were really strong female characters who weren't just waiting around to be rescued by a man. So I really love those books. You will always see a wide variety of books that I review. The second thing that really sets my channel apart, I have a Russian blue kitten. His name is Bill. He is very attention seeking. So he will no doubt make appearances, even unwanted appearances in my videos. He's already been in some of mine, whether I liked it or not. His name actually has to do with books. When we first brought him home, he was hiding behind a book and the author's first name was Bill. So I said to him, do you like Bill? And he said, meow. And then I said, do you want to be called Bill? And I said, meow. He said, meow. And from that point on, his name is Bill. It was my first choice as a name, so if you don't like it, he picked it. His name is Bill. He is a Russian blue kitten. He's really cute, although he does a lot of naughty things. And the third thing is just unique to me. I always do a peace symbol at the end of all my videos. It's like my signature send-off. Question 3. What are you most excited for about this channel? As I discussed earlier, one of the things I'm really pumped about is having respectful discussions, seeing what you guys think of the books, even if it's different than my point of view. You know, what can we come up with? How can we all become better readers and really be an engaged community? The second thing, I do like that there's a little bit of accountability. Once you actually articulate your goals, it is pushing me to new heights, really pushing me to see what I can do in terms of, you know, how many books I can read and go through. It feels much better to be spending less time on Netflix and a little bit more time reading. Question 4, why do you love reading? This question is actually so near and dear to my heart. I did talk about this in the book addiction tag. When I grew up, I was broke as a joke, no doubt about it. And the library was a place of refuge for me. It smelled of books, it smelled of brand new books and hope for the future. The only way to break the bonds of poverty was going to be through education. There was no other way. My mom and dad weren't gonna be able to, you know, cut me a check for even $10,000 to go to school. It just wasn't gonna happen. At the end of the day, I think it turned out all right. My other job, aside from being a booktuber, is I'm an attorney and a CPA. So I would say it all turned out pretty well. Question 5, what book or series got you into reading? Almost as far back as I can remember, I've always been a really avid reader. The first series I remember like really loving, I love the Boxcar Children, and I also had the Babysitter's Club. I even had those dolls, like the, you know, about this big. I had the Babysitter Club dolls, and I remember I wasn't even in the double digits yet. I wasn't even 10. I remember thinking, I was annoyed when I had to go to school because it was interfering with my reading time. And I vowed, when I retire, I'm going to read books all day long. So look at me now. Question 6, what questions would you ask your favorite booktubers? This question has me so excited because there is one booktuber that I really like above all the other ones I've seen, and that is Murphy Napier. I hope that I am pronouncing her name correctly. She just seems really laid back, cool, you know, she welcomes different points of view, and she's cool without trying to be cool. She seems just like a friend. You're chatting about books. I love it. I don't have any questions for her necessarily, but I do have a compliment for her, which is a great job on your channel. I really appreciate your content. Question 7, what challenges do you think starting a BookTube channel will be the hardest to overcome? For me, one of the challenges is that you can really and honestly have the very best videos and have no views. There was one person who wrote a comment lately, which I agreed with. It said, why do all the booktubers review the same books? There's actually a scientific answer to this question, which is a great question. When you plan your channel, you are encouraged to do some research about your video. And they say you should only do a video if it meets 2 criteria. 1, you need a book which has, or a title, which has high search volume, and if you're a smaller channel like mine, you need low volume, because if you do a video, like let's say on chairs or something very common, if I make a video about that, I don't have 1 million subscribers. I'm not even gonna be listed on the page. So if I want to get page rank at all, you have to have low competition and you need something that has that high search volume. That's just how the YouTube algorithm works. However, I mean, it's a shame because there's popular books and there's non-popular books. It doesn't mean that the non-popular books aren't beneficial. They could change your life. And I could have a video on a non-popular book. And I personally will have videos. Unfortunately, to even get traction on my channel, I do have to have some of the special books that everybody else is reviewing, but I will have books that I want to review, the non-popular ones. That is one thing that will set me apart from some of the other folks. But it is super discouraging as a creator to spend so much time, so much energy, researching a video, putting it together, having it be engaging, having awesome graphics, spending time on equipment and doing B-roll and practicing and putting together a script and editing and everything, and then you have like 3 views. It doesn't mean I'm not proud of those videos. It is just very discouraging when you put so much of your heart, soul, effort, and the small channels, you haven't reached monetization yet. You're not getting paid anything. So you put all this effort and energy and love into a video, which may legitimately be the best video out there, but you might never see it because it's not high search volume. Or YouTube's not going to recommend it, show it on the homepage because you're not one of the established channels. So that's like my biggest obstacle is I do have videos, they don't have a lot of views, but they're awesome videos. The other obstacle that I have that is unique to me, I do not film in front of a bookcase. There's a reason why. If you haven't already guessed, most of the books that I read, I donate to the library. Personally, I feel really compelled to give the books back. So I live in the great city of Troy, if you hadn't already guessed by my channel name, and the library is extremely, extremely, extremely underfunded. If there is a new release and it's hot, it's popular, it's trending, I have tried to put a hold on books and there are 25, 30 holds on that book. I put holds on books, and when it came my turn, I forgot I even put a hold on the book because it took 6 months for me to get my turn in line. So usually I don't even wait. I'll just buy it on Amazon, and then I feel compelled, hey, I know that there's 25, 30 people who are waiting for this book. It can collect dust on my bookshelf, or I can donate it to the library. So I do, donate it to the library. Especially I identify with the underprivileged people who their only access to books is through the library. And, I know my set is a little bit boring. If you have any suggestions for how I can make my set more engaging, please leave me a comment below. Question 8, when did you start reading? This question, I really had to think about this one. And I can tell you when I started reading because the expectations these days, at least in the city of Troy, are different. I learned to read from my kindergarten teacher. So I show up to kindergarten and they taught me to read. When in the city of Troy, we've had discussions locally that the expectations have changed. The school district expects you to know how to read before you get into kindergarten. And that was news to me because I just thought you showed up and the school was supposed to teach you how to read. So I learned how to read in kindergarten. Question 9, where do you read? This question makes me laugh so hard because I think I've read almost everywhere. On cruise ships. Back when I was in college, oh my gosh, I can't even believe I'm telling you guys this. I would even read at red lights on the way to work. I don't suggest doing that, but I used to read even at red lights on the way to work. These days, because of coronavirus, I usually do most of my reading on the couch, but I love to also sit back and read a book on the beach too. I think reading's relaxing, so like I said, I'll read almost anywhere. Question 10, what kind of books do you like to read? So I did answer this earlier. I like all types of books. Even if I don't like a book, I feel that there's something that I can learn from it. Was it I didn't like the author's style? And then why didn't I like the author's style? Was there a theme that I didn't like, or the author was trying to make a point that I just didn't agree with? So I do feel like I can learn something from books that books I did not even care for or did not even like. And plus you learn a little bit about yourself. Hey, I don't like, maybe it's this particular genre, or I don't like this particular author. There also have been books that completely changed my life, changed my world perspective. So I do read all different kinds of books, all different genres. I really enjoy lots of different books. I will say I haven't read any like comic book type books for a while. There was this like 35 books to read before you turned 30, and I read all of them. And there were like poetry books, there were comic books, there were classics, there were new releases, there were a whole bunch of books. So I don't think I've read any comics since that point in time, but I'm sure in the coming years on BookTube I will be, I keep it fresh, I keep it new. I'm sure I'll be reading, all different types on a go forward basis, and I read all different types now. Let's chat about books. Send me some encouragement, subscribe to my channel. I'm Lisa of Troy. Peace.